Rev up your engines!
Well, the Germans do strange things. Well, now, German minister is threatening to ban driving your car on the weekend because it pollutes. Believe it or not, the transportation sector in Germany hasn't met their climate goals. And so the minister's saying, okay, now you can't drive your cars on the weekend. Here's what one of the Germans said. He's threatening to ban driving on weekends because he's done nothing to actually reach the climate goals for his sector, and now wants to scare the voter into supporting a bill that would allow his shortcomings to be redistributed to other sectors that actually hit their goals. Pathetic piece of a politician. Germany has a system where it has sector-specific climate goals for each year, right? Compliance with these goals is reviewed every year by an independent commission. And so this guy sees, oh, my sector isn't making it, so I'm going to have to ban driving on the weekend, right? Yeah, the factories are still throwing smoke and everything out, right? But the people can't drive their cars because it's not meeting what our sector says they're supposed to. So what insanity. They're planning on telling the people, you can't drive your car on the weekend. We didn't meet our pollution goals, right? Let's see how well that sits, right? As any other place else, they claim they have a democracy in Germany. So I'm sure the people could just vote these people out and vote somebody in like they did in the United States when they get a little bit too carried away with this crap, right? We will just vote the people out. And that's the end of it. I guess maybe Germany's still got a little, too much Heil and they believe the authorities too much. Maybe they start questioning the authorities when they tell them stuff like this. You can't drive your car on the weekend because it pollutes too much. No, you can take a walk. Just don't eat too many beans because you can't pollute either. The Cold Breeze says, what do you think about that NHTSA mandate to have automatic braking in cars? They just passed a regulation all new cars starting in 2029 must have this automatic emergency braking technology. What do you think about it? Especially, don't they need overrides so you don't get false braking events? Well, yeah, exactly. I agree entirely. The problem is we're dealing with sort of semi-self-driving. It brakes by itself. If it sees a person, it brakes. If you're going too fast, you're going to slam into somebody, it's supposed to brake. But as it stands, they often have false braking. I had a customer in Houston, they got rear-ended in their Jeep because the Jeep thought that the shadow on an overpass was a truck or something. It stopped the Jeep automatically, then they got rear-ended. And stuff like this was going to happen more and more if they try to put that in. No system is perfect, and these self-driving, these partially self-driving systems, they are not perfected yet. They're going to have problems, and then, boom, you're going to get accidents because these things are going to brake on a highway. Take the stupid Tesla and they're full self-driving, which is a lie in itself. They stop in the middle of the San Francisco bridge because they're confused and they just stop. They create giant traffic jams. Well, at least in that case, the speed limit on that bridge is only 40 miles an hour. I just drove over it, right? So it's got a slow speed limit and you're never even going that fast. It's usually jam-packed with people. So in slow conditions, yeah, it probably worked decently, right? But highway speeds, automatic braking, I could see so many things going wrong with those systems, right? And yet you get these politicians, oh yeah, we need to do this, we need to do that. Yeah, you need to do something that doesn't exist yet. The cars can't drive themselves yet. And forcing them to do that is just going to create problems that don't exist now because most people don't slam their brake on in the middle of the highway because they think a shadow is a truck or another car or who knows what, right? Leaves will blow across in the wind or something, or a paper bag blows up and then it slants them. You can see so many things go wrong with this crap, right? We ever wonder who actually owns the tool companies? They used to be American companies. Well, guess what? A lot of them aren't anymore. Isn't that a surprise? Half the stuff's made in Taiwan or China. For example, Milwaukee, they're not a Taiwanese company. Just look where the stuff is made. Right? You used to think Black & Decker. Oh, Black & Decker. You buy the stuff now, look at it. It's all made in China. They're just using a name, and then they're importing cheap Chinese crap and putting their name on it. It's just, you can't trust names anymore. You have to look to see where was it manufactured. Is it a quality company? Now, take Makita tools, right? There's the quality. That's a Japanese company. Let me warn you. You buy a tool before you pay for it, get the box, get the tool, look at it. Even the Japanese, they're selling Chinese crap too, a bunch of these companies. Make sure where it's made because they're farm out a bunch of their stuff to China, Taiwan. The name doesn't mean what it used to mean. For example, I was looking at binoculars the other day. It was a Japanese company. Then I look at it. Almost every single one they make is made in China, except for their high-end binoculars that are like $1,500, $2,000, right? You want to get the $300 ones. They're all made in China. Even though it says Japan on it, right? Because technically it's a Japanese company, right? But you look closer, you'll find out that things are made in China. And they really hide it there. I mean, they hide it like mad. They don't want you to know anything. Now, at least with cars, hey, by law in the United States, it's got to show you where they're made. Now, it may not say made in Mexico, made in China, whatever. But you go by the VIN number. That tells you where it was made. All the cars sold in the United States have to have a VIN number. Now, J for Japan, that's easy. So if it's J, you knew it was made in Japan. They have 1, 2, 3, 4. They have other numbers. Learn what they are. I have so many people bring me cars, they check out, and they're all excited about their new car. And I say, you know, your car was made in Mexico. What, Mexico? Read the numbers. If it's this number, it's Mexico. Yours was made in Mexico. So learn. Don't trust names. Names are meaningless. Do a little research. But you gotta laugh at this one. There was a guy in Montreal with his Tesla, and they have that thing, you push a button or whatever, and it summons your Tesla and it picks you up out of a parking lot. Well, this one kind of screwed up. A man in Montreal stood outside a mall, and his cell phone app, he pressed summon. The Tesla came out, but instead of coming right to him, it turned and smashed into a Jaguar parked next to it. Tesla told the owner, hey, it's not our fault. Oh, it's not their fault, right? Yeah, they made a thing that says you can drive it and runs into a guy's Jaguar. Anybody that thinks this stuff is going to work is out of their minds. Now, the guy bought the Tesla 2 years ago, and he updated new software, and one was car summon. It summoned the car all right, but it smashed into somebody's Jaguar while it was driving out. It's so ridiculous to think that these things are going to work. Even the summon thing doesn't work. I'm sure it's great if it's out in the middle of nowhere and all by itself and it's got to go 50 feet to get to you, but driving through a parking lot, it ran into somebody's Jaguar. I think that's funny, though. You got two snob cars going at it, right? But then Tesla said, it's not our fault. You're the dumb guy that used it. Well, electrify America. They're supposed to be building all these fast chargers. Well, guess what? It isn't going like it was supposed to go. A few years ago, Electrify America says, we have a boost plan. We're going to double the stations by the end of 2025, which of course they haven't done. Of course they haven't done it, right? They're always trying to make things look bigger than they are. Now, if you include the United States, Canada, Mexico, you're talking well over 200,000 gas stations. Well over that, right? Of course, the electric ones take much longer to charge than gas does, so if you wanted to have an equivalency, you'd probably have to have at least 5 times as many, so you'd need like 1 million stations, right? As it stands now, they have 850 of them. And this is North America. This isn't just the United States, right? I mean, if you wanted to have the same convenience as gas station, you'd probably need at least 1 million of these stations, right? And they got 850. Anybody that thinks this electrification is serious, no. People aren't going to build the stations because they're not money makers. Why would somebody build a business that doesn't make money? They got to make the infrastructure to sell the stuff, and of course, ultimately, they're only middlemen. Power companies making all the money selling the power, so then these people have to sell it to you, so they got to mark it up. Not only that they got to pay what you pay, but then they mark it up, and they have to pay for their infrastructure. So, hey, one, it's not going to be the cheap electricity that they claim. We all know that was a lie, right? They would need probably 1 million of them. And they're not doing it. There's no profit in it. No company is going to do something if there isn't a profit in it, right? And to make a profit, they'd have to raise the price to us. So it would go totally against the grain of, oh, you save money if you buy an electric car. No, you wouldn't. If there were millions of them out there, there would have to be millions of stations to feed them up. And where's that going to come from? Where's the electricity that feeds them going to come from? You know, they don't think about any of that. They're just like, oh, we're going to save the planet with electric cars. No. You can see the thing is a giant fiasco. Doctor Who says, what supercharger would you recommend for me? I got a 2016 Dodge Challenger 3.6 V6 Pentastar. I'm thinking about getting a supercharger. I'm looking at ProCharger and the RIP supercharger. What would you say? Let me try to talk you out of it, okay? That's a Pentastar engine, not known as the strongest engine on Earth. You put a supercharger on it, it's just like a turbocharger. It just rams extra air into the engine. If you put a supercharger on it, and that's, you didn't see how many miles it's got on it, but you're talking about 8-year-old Pentastar, you'll probably blow the thing up. Over the years, I've had more people, especially a lot of young guys, say, I put a turbocharger, supercharge my car out, and I'd say, are you going to build the engine up first? No, I'm just going to put it on the engine. Well, be prepared for the engine to blow up. Then you can put another engine and rebuild it. Or buy a brand new engine and build that up. Engines are built for a certain amount of pressure. You add that extra pressure, they're going to blow up faster because they weren't designed for that kind of pressure. Race cars are designed for extra pressure. That's why they cost so much money, right? And they get horrible gas mileage too. Understand that. You put a supercharger on, your gas mileage is going to go, maybe not such a smart idea. But if you want to, don't say I didn't warn you. You'll probably blow that engine. What? It's 8 years old. You probably got 100-something thousand miles on it. Now, on the other hand, let's say you're thinking, well, I'm going to build another engine. Well, why not put it on, run it, see what happens. If the engine blows, it won't hurt the supercharger. You can take it out, put it on the next engine. But you're usually better to build the engine up before you put a supercharger or a turbocharger on it. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.